One of my favorite items on my desk is this catch-all tray. Whenever somebody asks me where I bought it from, my answer is always the same.
3D printed.
And the reply from the other side is always the same as well.
No way!
Then I have to actually show them that it's 3D printed, and they're all blown away. That's one of the reasons I wanted a dedicated 3D printing corner in my new studio, because the amount of creative output these devices can deliver is absolutely staggering. New place, clean slate, and the thought process here, unlike before, is no longer what we need to buy. It's let's just 3D print it. So let me show you a few practical items and a few cool ones that we printed for the new studio, and hopefully by the end of this episode, you'll see the potential of these machines, which back in the day were considered either unobtainable or way too complex. Now, I don't consider myself a 3D printing expert, and I'm not going to try and sound like a pro here. I'm just a regular guy who happens to be in love with these devices, learning and expanding his knowledge as time goes by. By the way, if you end up enjoying this video, subscribe, because why not?
3D printing has the potential to revolutionize the way we make almost everything.
Everybody thought home computers were a really, really cool thing that only nerdy people were ever going to be into. 3D printers are on that same kind of arc.
It's worth mentioning that when 3D printing first went mainstream around 2014, it came with a lot of big promises, the main one being a 3D printer in every home. That never happened, and the reason is simply that the technology wasn't ready yet.
It's beyond belief, like, the machine just looks terrible. And this goes beyond the cheap printers. Like, this is a $4,000 printer that never really worked.
Every single print was a project on its own, which meant you had to become a bit of a specialist before you could make anything at all. And understandably, most people didn't sign up for that. That's actually one of the reasons I was happy to partner with Bambu Lab on this episode, because they're the ones who broke that cycle and started a completely new chapter for 3D printing. And looking at where things are today, I gotta say, a printer in every home makes perfect sense to me. The first printer I bought is the P2S, which according to my research was the best starter all-rounder you can get that's also enclosed. It has all the necessary automations built in, so you don't have to worry about how any of it works. Think of it as a magical box that you can summon using the Bambu Handy app, which is how you control this printer, and through it, you get access to over 2 million community models that somebody out there has already created, all of which are free. What I didn't expect is how little of this I had to figure out. You see, the printer handles the hardware, the app handles the control, Maker World handles, what I can actually print, and the AMS handles the colors. It all works as one thing, an ecosystem, and getting started took me an afternoon instead of a weekend. Whenever I need something new, and keep in mind that my brain has been recalibrated at this point, my first thought goes somewhere else. Take the brackets we put on the back of the cabinets that hold the printers. I thought to myself, I'm 100% sure there's some kind of a bracket on Maker World, which is Bambu's endless catalog as I mentioned, and sure enough, there are plenty of them in different sizes, which you can customize yourself to fit your needs. In practical terms, that saves me at least an hour of driving to the local hardware store, dealing with whoever happens to be working, that day, finding the things, and then driving back. Instead, it took me less than 5 minutes to simply find the brackets I needed and tap print to send them to the printer. So I had the P2S printing the brackets while I carried on with my day. On top of the P2S and my other X2D printer, you have the option to run an AMS, which is this very clever filament theater, and on the side you can even add an auxiliary holder for a 5th slot in case you need 4 or 5 colors running at the same time. The only thing you need to know about the P2S is that because it prints in layers, every time it switches color, it has to purge the previous one, which wastes a little bit of a filament. And this is where the X2D comes in. It looks almost identical to the P2S printer still enclosed, but it's the more experienced brother with a primary nozzle and an auxiliary one, which means it can print with 2 filaments at the same time and waste practically nothing. It saves filament, which is already cheap compared to whatever you'd pay for the same object in the store. And on top of that, it's quicker, and this is what I use for the adventure tray as well, as almost anything that requires at least 2 colors. Then there's the A2L, which to me is probably the pinnacle of what Bambu Lab has created, because it's this beautiful open printer with a much larger plate. And a larger plate opens the door to a much larger canvas. That's actually one of the reasons I decided to 3D print my art wall. Aside from Maker World, Bambu Lab has created something called Maker Lab, which is a toolset that gives even the most inexperienced users everything they need to create things from scratch. There's one that makes a photo of you and turns it into a little pop figurine, which of course I had to try and then paint at home with the kids. There's my favorite, Make My Sign, which is what I used to create this Why Not Lab sign on the door of the printing corner, and that one took about an hour and a half from start to finish. I'm already planning a lot more of them, by the way. And then there's the Chroma canvas, which lets me turn an image into a vibrant filament painting. This is something I've wanted for the studio wall for a long time, a place where we can display the movies we grew up with in the 80s and 90s. The Terminators of the world. These are not prints, they just pop out at you. And come to think of it, a couple of hours earlier, they didn't exist. One tap on the Bambu Handy app or the Bambu Studio on the computer, and I can create something out of thin air, which I find absolutely mesmerizing. Another thing I couldn't find anywhere locally and would have had to custom order online, wait for it to arrive and then pray that it fits, are these little hooks for the slat walls. You see, in the new place, we wanted to break up the white walls here and there, so we added quite a bit of slats, most of them gray, which really give the place that extra character. Now, you think that owning the place would make me more comfortable drilling into it, but the truth is the opposite. I second guess every single choice about where I want to hang something. With the slat walls and these little hooks, and I've printed something like 40 or 50 of them by now, I don't have to worry about permanent damage at all. And this is where it gets a little silly. The closest equivalent I could find sells in packs of 5 for $22, which works out to $4.40 per hook. So the one sitting on my walls right now would have set me back around $200. All the 40 or 50 I printed took about 150 grams of filament, and a kilo of spool of Bambu Lab's PLA is 20 bucks. So the whole lot cost me roughly $3. This is how the custom ThisIsE sign a friend gifted to me went up, along with my 100K plaque from YouTube. And that's just the surface. I also printed a set of display boxes, and using the same hooks, I can mount them anywhere I like. The cool thing is that if something changes, I either print more of them or rearrange the ones that I have, knowing I haven't damaged anything on the wall. Those boxes are where I can finally showcase things like my limited edition Gabriel Iglesias Funko Pop or my little gifts from Asus, the little figurines of me. All these little things give the place a lot of character. Another example is this very elegant slat wall inspired key organizer. Back in the old studio, we had somewhere to hang our keys, but here we started fresh and I wanted something that matches the vibe of the new place. And what better way to do that than 3D printing? That one took 7 or 8 hours while I was asleep, and by the time I came into the office the next day, it was ready and waiting. My only real decision was where to actually put it, whether it should be by the door or closer to where we normally sit so we can grab our stuff on the way out. I think it turned out beautiful. You know what's interesting? When I talk about 3D printing with people who've never used it, they usually associate it with these silly little toys you can find for a few cents at a market, but it actually unlocks a lot more doors than that. You can print isometric, parametric, and genuinely complex shapes either as a single unit or as something you assemble afterwards, like this one. It's called the Rotating Storage Box on Maker World, and it's a little knick-knack organizer, as I call it. It's a great example of something you can simply cannot walk into a store and buy. It's so satisfying to open and close. This is one of those things I wanted ready for all the little camera bolts and nuts that gets tossed around the studio and then cost us way too much time to find. Now they have a dedicated place. Speaking of finding things, there's one more tool in Maker Lab I wanted to show you, and it's called Make My Desk Organizer. Everything I've shown you up until now was designed by somebody else. This one is different because the model doesn't exist until you draw it. So if I need something properly stored, I can simply sit down with the actual things in mind. Think, the dongles, the SD cards, all the bits that might get lost in a drawer, and I simply draw them around and set the depth of every compartment individually. It's not a download that's almost the right size for my drawer. It's the right size because I measured everything while I was putting it together in this clever and dead simple Maker Lab interface. The same thing applies to pretty much anything from the bathroom to the kitchen. To match our little Dolce Gusto machine, I printed a coffee capsule dispenser, which is a far more elegant way to grab your coffee capsule in the morning than opening a dull cardboard box every single time, and it matches the design language of the machine as well. Perhaps out of everything we've printed since moving into the new place, the backpack hangers are my favorite. They are very Scandinavian design inspired with hidden bolts, and again with the Bambu Handy app I had no concerns about printing them right there on the spot. The only thing I had to worry about was picking the right color. I've gathered a pretty decent lineup of filaments at this point, and Bambu Lab has endless amounts of them, from the basic PLAs to the more heat-resistant and durable options in a vast number of colors. For the studio, my favorites are black and wood, although I'd go absolutely bonkers when I'm printing things for my kids. Anyway, I digress. For the hooks, I picked the wood color to match the walls and scaled them up to 150% so they take all sorts of thick backpack handles. But the thing that makes this particular print, which I'll link below alongside everything else I've made so far, is the hidden screws. Once you mount it on the wall and snap it into place, the hanger doesn't look like it's bolted to anything. And that, to me, is very unique. Now, I do have tons of other backpacks that I've picked up through various Everyday Care episodes, and since we're still in the middle of organizing this place, they've turned into a complete mess, and they're basically lying on the floor in one of our storage corners. This is no way to treat expensive leather bags, so the natural thing to do was search Maker World for some hangers. I've printed 6 of them for now, with more in the pipeline, which means everything gets hung properly and gets to ventilate as well. If you want to see more of what came off these printers, head over to my desk setup episode, which I'll link right here. This is where I go through the catch-all tray, the cup holder hidden underneath the desk, and the chuck lift and dock lift, which is a very smart combo and a way to keep my iPhone charged while also letting me control my Mac. Like and subscribe to the channel as well as my newsletter, and as always, it's been an absolute pleasure. This is E, over and out.